Welcome to Games in the Dark After Dark. We are talking
Dark.
about episode 2 of Cyberpunk Red with GM Sean. Folks, we're about to hammer a drug dealer and break down his operation. How are we feeling about this episode?
Correction, though, episode 1 and 2.
That's true. We didn't do an After Dark on episode 1.
Oh, that's true. You're right.
Yeah. Hey, guys.
We went too far.
It's us.
After Dark. Yay, do another button down.
Hey, guys.
One button per After Dark we missed.
Hello, everyone. Yeah. Minor correction. Yeah. Okay. Well, first of all, then, before we even get into what just happened at the end of the episode, let's talk through a little bit of character creation. What led you guys to pick the classes that you picked? Was there some defining feature of the roles that you picked coming into this game that really jumped out at you, that really popped for you, and made you want to pursue playing the character role that you have?
Yeah. So the reason that I was drawn to MedTech, first off, was I was like, okay, I want to play a support, but I want to take that very literally, right? Like, I want to be a supportive support. So, Salty is not only going to be your, medic, he's also going to be there for you emotionally. Hey, that was wrong. You did a great job,
Be
Dan.
a shoulder to cry on.
I was like, that's a funny idea, and so I'm just going to rock with that. But yeah, that was the first impulse at making him medic.
Medic was taken from the group, and I don't like having repeat character types, so I just wanted to go frontliner, Shooty McShooterton.
Nice.
No, I saw media when we first played. I was like, that's kind of interesting. Like, I'd just be a guy that just kind of sits there and records everything. And now it's sort of setting in oh, damn, I'm kind of disconnected from the party a little bit in a way, but also I'm management in a way. I really want to be the annoying manager for a stage crew or something like that. Inevitably, I'm in the green room or whatever, telling you all the issues you did.
I like how you said the
last
distance. That's interesting. I like that.
I think
they don't respect me yet.
I think in Cyberpunk, and in a lot of systems, depending on how political you get, Cyberpunk is an inherently political system. I think it's important to have people from different economic stations, and I think the way that you've presented your media character Bertram, he's not a corpo, but he's a corpo aspirant, right? He aspires to that role, and so therefore he has a foot in that world. And I actually think that more so than whatever the media's mechanical roles are, I just think that the RP of having somebody who has a foot in that world is actually a huge leg up in terms of the flexibility for the party.
When Sean played a corpo in our last game, and I played greasy old hitman who was wearing a fisherman's hat and Vans, and he had missing all his teeth. It was an insane contrast, but it made it really fun.
Yeah. And Jamie, you just want to play a wizard in every system that you play in, so I understand the drive for net
okay, so
got him.
I do want to play wizard. I enjoy having a subsystem of things that I can look at and mess with, but honestly, the Netrunner stuff I'm not that interested in. I like the idea of this character being completely separate from her net running skill, because I have her as a person who's a social physical person, no intelligence, no ability to parse the data that she grabs. She's just good at going into the net and getting stuff. So
right.
What's fascinating to me is when you introduce the idea of silverfish, and the three things that are going to stick out to me immediately are that you're playing a woman character, that she has access to martial arts, and that she's a net runner. And the reason that those three things stick out to me was the last time we played Cyberpunk Red, that's the character I played. I played.
Yeah, you did.
Yes, I played a woman, and you were running the game. Played a woman who was a net runner, and she had martial arts. I don't think that character had the social skills that you are saying that your character has. So I would have played her differently.
Also
But those three
seems
things
like
jump out.
May might have a little more physical instrument kind of
Right.
Yes.
points or whatever.
Yeah. I'm also
Yeah.
wondering if that choice to put on the black hat was very deliberate, like to signal that you're a black hat hacker, or to or
Not
if
at
it
all.
was
No, that
more
is just
okay.
her. She has a ball cap because she's an athletic person. Her dress is all athletic gear.
Right,
She's
right.
Is it a flat
putting
cap
on a
or is
hat
it
because it's
a
what she
curved
wears.
brim? I'm asking because I'm going to have to draw art. Okay.
Curved brim, black hat. She has long black hair that has like the silver tech hair mixed in it, and then silver tattoos on her body. So she's trying to fit in with people by not being too out there, like too crazy in the cyberpunk stuff, like no gear that might figure out. I was very close to going with a like Agent 47 Hitman style bald dude. Just put on whatever outfits of the place you're going to infiltrate.
When I was getting suggestions for what music I should do for a character, and Jay suggested like some industrial metal, and I started searching through all my industrial metal. I'm like, no, I'm saving all this for when this guy dies, and I could be the guy that runs in and shoots stuff, and he's like a cool techno badass.
I've already started to put together a second playlist, and just to be like, I think the new character would be like, here's the contrast in musical style, and then I'll figure out what the character is based on the music that I choose. So I've already started. Yes. Also, Talking Heads, great poll. I love the idea of Talking Heads. Very, give me a really good sense. I feel like of the flavor of the character. The
that was like
character,
the only one song there that was that new Squid song that I was like, oh, I like this song, and then I sort of had to build around that because it was the first character I was like, oh no, I don't know which direction he's going in really, or if I realize I have a lot of punk music, I guess. Like a lot of stuff is like anti-capitalist. I need capitalist
Who would have thought
chill.
about it? You need some Taylor Swift in your life.
Capitalist chills music or whatever.
Yeah, that capitalist.
You need some
punk.
Nickelback and some Taylor Swift. And
it was really easy to find evil techno, fuck the government music or whatever. But
all you need is well, what is it? You know, the song goes like money, 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 money.
Ironically, an anti-money song
with a song from the Lorax.
Incredible.
Sean, I have been enjoying the slow intro to the characters, the detail of like the opening of episode 2 with describing the city. It's really nice to get into that.
It was too, yeah, because I have never played the Cyberpunk. When we were playing Red the whole time, everyone I felt like was like we kind of knew it. Everyone knew it was the survive, and I was like, I don't know. I could use a little bit of flavor.
Sean is our own personal Bob Ross of word pictures. He's throwing up those paints and he's bringing us into the world.
It's something that's always good. Like I love Lord of the Rings, and because of the descriptive scenes, and it helps to build like that mind's eye. And I wanted to build that scene of like just get a general idea of like what Night City is. It is a dirty city. I wanted to give the imagery of this like depressing landscape that just stifles life itself.
I think the beauty of something like an RPG, or like when you're reading a novel or something like that, is that your brain does so much of the constructive work of filling in the blanks, right? Like when you get a description of, okay, you're going to a deli, and then here's the base description that you get, and you're in a parking lot. Every one of us in our mind's eye is going to build that out to look different in our mind's eye, right? And so none of us has a perfectly unified version of the world. And the same thing is true of when you read a novel, and this is never more true than when a novel gets like adapted into a film or something like that. And you're like, well, that's not how I imagined that would look. That's not how I imagined that character would be, right? Because everybody has this mental projection of what the thing is, or what the environment is, or the aesthetic is. And I think that that's really great, but I also think that effort that you made, that these guys are talking about, to like, no, let me really set the scene in a descriptive, evocative way. I think that centers all of us on, this is the overall aesthetic, or this is the impression or the feeling or the mood or the tone that we're meant to get from this. And then let that inform the parts where then your brain has to fill in the blanks.
And
So I
Jay's
think it's
saying
just like,
all this as the guy who gave a kick-ass description of him waking up. That it was so mentally evocative that I was like, I knew exactly how he was getting out of the tent when you were talking about him like almost crunching the tent as he gets out, and then like scratching his nuts or whatever. Like, yeah. So you're just kind of glazing yourself with this whole.
It comes pre-glazed.
not really. Yeah, I'm pre-glazed.
Yeah.
I'm pre-glazed. I once
And cream
one of
fill.
my favorite ways that I was talking about poetry with a group of students. This is a few years ago, and you get the typical response like, "I don't get poetry. I was force-fed poetry and forced to read all of these things, and it's just like shit I don't understand," or whatever else. And I always kind of liken it to like to visual art or whatever. You're really kind of meant to look at it and get a feeling, and if you get a feeling immediately, then that's the point. And then there's art that gives you a feeling that then you want to further explore. Like, why am I having this feeling? What am I reacting to? Whatever. And poetry should be the same. If you don't get it right away, that's okay. You might just not be ready for it at that point in your life, or that interaction with it, or whatever. Real poetry should make you feel something immediately. And the reason it should make you feel something immediately is because it's so strange that you have no point of reference in your life for that thing and you want to know more about it.
Right.
Or
And-
because it's so true to your life experience that it like hits you in your heart's core, and you're like, oh, that is a feeling that I
Yeah.
didn't know that I experience all the time, but you've given words to it, and I recognize our shared experience between you, the
Yeah.
writer, and me, the reader, and
And
now I'm
that's-
really drawn to that.
I feel
That's
like
really
I got
important. And the way that, like, because like when you take a creative writing class, they start you out with poetry, because that's an important part of
Right.
telling an overall story, is just like the tiny descriptors of that.
absolutely.
My
And
one
it's also
piece,
such a truncated form too. Like,
yeah,
I feel like I got very lucky early on. I've mentioned before that my mom was an English teacher. And so I got exposed to two poets that really stood out to me in my youth were Keats and Shelley. I mean, Percy Shelley. So, I got a very kind of, and they're not over the top, like difficult poets to read. So they're accessible, I guess is the way you'd say that. But they're very evocative in their terminology. They make a liberal use of metaphor and simile, and they bring you into their world, similar to
Wow.
what Sean and Jay did tonight.
I'm going to absolutely slum it then for a minute when you're going from Keats and Shelley the Romantics. But my analogy that I gave was like, okay, imagine you're in your kitchen and the coffee maker turned off, but you only got your first cup of coffee in the morning, but you are craving some coffee. And so you pour a cup of cold coffee into your mug and you put it in the microwave. You microwave it for a minute and then pull it out. And I'm like, what is that feeling of disappointment and self-loathing when you pull the coffee cup out and you take
Well, I like
the
that.
first
That's
sip,
relatable.
and
Yeah.
you realize that this coffee tastes like shit, but also you want it and it's hot now, right? Like that mixture of like taste and like self-loathing and shame and all of those things combining together. That's a mood. That's a feeling. That's something that a bunch of people can relate to. And if you've never had that feeling, then it means absolutely nothing to you. But if you've had that feeling,
Right.
then it speaks to you of like, oh yeah, I've done that, and that coffee did fucking suck,
That's a
And I-
great. That's a
and I hated it.
Jay. You might just be a great teacher. I don't know.
But that's the idea. And so
Yeah.
as
That's
Sean's
fantastic.
describing the world and describing the mixture of colors and the cacophony of colors that he was talking about, like if you've never driven into a city at night when it's raining and felt that reflective cacophony of colors, then maybe you don't know what he's talking about. But if you have, you know exactly what
Right.
that almost like oil painting sensation
That
of
hypnotic
lights
kind
hitting
of
a wet street are.
out of body feeling that you get when you're pulling into this new location, and like especially if it's a strange city, right? It might be familiar to you, but it's kind of like the old the old saying that you never walk through the same river twice. When you come to a city that's very alive, it's a new city. I remember coming back home. I lived in Australia for a while, but coming back home during the pandemic, and like a lot of businesses had closed, and things that I was looking forward to coming home weren't necessarily there, and new things were there instead. And yeah, it's a very new feeling. And interestingly enough, my first job after getting back there was a night job, so I would often get off at like 5 in the morning and have to kind of drive around town to find something to eat, or whatever to do. And yeah, that feeling, it felt kind of like a different city, and that similar motif that you were kind of constructing there.
Yeah. Okay, we're close to closing time here, but I'm going to ask you all one big question before we sign off. For the players, sorry, Sean, apologies to Sean. What's
No
the
worries.
one skill or ability on your sheet that you are looking most forward to rolling or using as the game progresses? Because we're at that stage where everything is new. We've only made a handful of like basic kind of skill rolls. And so there's this world of possibility where we can start using the cool shit that's on our sheet. What are you guys most looking forward to?
I think Liam
I
already
forgot
played his
what.
hand there, and he pulled out his gun. He just really wanted to show off the special gun that Sean put in the foundry for him.
That's right.
The
That's right,
DLC.
baby.
I can't remember what it's called, and I can't find where it's at on here, so I'm thinking it might not have gotten imported over from the thing. But I can basically call for backup and have a bunch of cops show up to help me.
Yeah,
Your
that's your
roll
class
ability.
skill. That's under your bio.
Yeah.
That's where it is.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That's
really
an
cool.
awesome skill. For me, I think as a player, like me, Liam, is most looking forward to using the surgery skill. However, I think after the comment that Duster made about like, well, he's the gun, like that guy's the gun. And one of the things I discussed about my character is like, he needs to be needed, right? Like he's one of those guys that's like, I want help. I want everybody to be my friend, and I want to help everybody out. So I think one of the things he's most forward to looking to is his 16 in handguns. To be like, motherfucker, I'm the gun.
Yeah, I could care less about guns, but I really want to. The composition, I put some skills in that. I really like the idea of having like a audience or whatever, because that will be a whole different kind of power. Instead of being like, oh, I'm bronze, I have evil blood power, or I'm Joe Schmo, I have evil gun and like sword power. Now I have like, I don't know.
You're a bard. You're basically a bard, right?
Yeah. I haven't played a whole lot of bards. Maybe that's what I'm aspiring for. I care about how people are represented, and I can utilize that to bully people since I'm like near insane.
Mine would be contortionist, because I want to replicate the Jackie Chan stunt scene where he
Yes.
slides through the cashier's teller little box as you run away from the bad guy. So dipping through something small that you would not expect.
Yeah, when I was actually
That's
doxing
what-
your sheet earlier, I noticed that you had a very high contortionist. I almost
Yes.
said that.
Incredible. Well, many future checks then and abilities that we'll look forward to seeing in the next one. Thank you guys very much. Awesome session. Great job, Sean. And we'll see you
Great
next
job,
time.
Sean. Thanks, Sean.
Yeah, no worries.
Oh, like, follow, subscribe, all that.
Yep.